Hey guys, welcome to TLS, and you are Birdwatching with Magpie. So today we're talking about State of Decay 2. Now, just the other day I picked up State of Decay 1 on sale with all the DLC and all that other stuff. It's been out there for a little while, and I don't know why I hadn't really gotten it earlier. But at any rate, this game, in my opinion, is freaking awesome. It is basically like the sort of Walking Dead simulator. Well, I don't know, simulator, but basically, whereas a lot of the other zombie games, they seem to focus on almost like PvP, but with zombies. Or it's, with The Walking Dead, it's like people argue and zombies show up sometimes. This game is, take a look, man. It's pretty sweet. So, State of Decay 2 is something that's been in development for a little while. Now, I remember way back, I was watching the development State of Decay, and they were looking at doing like so the actual verbiage they used was kind of clever because it was based on the size of an outbreak. So like there's these legitimate things that like a stage 1 outbreak is like a couple of people. A stage 2 is like a town. A stage 3 is like a state. Stage 4 is like a country or something to that degree. So what they were doing is that with State of Decay, the first one, they were doing that stage 1, whereas it's literally taking place in this town or this township, but the idea being is that it's just like one player controlling it. And then the next one would be co-op, and then the next one would be an MMO. But it seems like, so what they said in their feedback is they're like, people like the game, but they don't want an MMO. They just want more of this game and to be able to play with their friends. And honestly, I mean, after all the other zombie games that I've played, it's like, yeah. I mean, seriously, who wants to be running around and just get shot in the back of the head by some dickhead who's treating it like a death match? And it's pretty sweet with all the other systems that they have going on in the game. It's like I could see them doing this pretty easily. So I mean, the game, the way that it works, it's oh man, it's super complex. Honestly, I really hate to compare it to Dwarf Fortress, but yeah, it's pretty much like The Walking Dead. It's your characters don't really, so they have these various personality traits, and their moods are affected by certain things, which can cause certain events. Nowhere near the fidelity of Dwarf Fortress, but characters do have like traits, and features, and they interact with one another in the situations that they're in. And right now, it's a little shallow. Like you might get some sort of event, or their morale might be affected, or they might be tired or wounded, which affects their maximum HP or stamina. But it is what I feel to be a really good system. I mean, I have a couple nitpicks, like the melee in the game. It's really satisfying. It works really well. It's probably too powerful. Like Joe Schmo can run up with a tire iron and just destroy 3 or 4 zombies. Once you know how to play the game. Once you know how to play the game, you can just run out there and just destroy fools. But a gun, on the other hand, so it's that the paradox of security. So basically, a gun is obviously going to keep you more safe because you keep them at a distance. On the other hand, it's going to be loud, it's going to attract more zombies. So it's going to keep you more safe in the short term. In the long term, it's going to give you problems. Whereas, of course, the opposite of true is for melee weapons. But the way that the game works, the melee weapons, you can just destroy fools all day. With the guns, they're okay. So they have an interesting way for like an inexperienced character to treat guns, and that it's not like they're terribly inaccurate, but the reloads take so long, which it's an okay way of balancing it. But then guns, and you always end up having to melee. So it's like, why use anything else? I mean, so the game with the DLC has a couple different modes, and on that note, it seems like some of the little upgrades that they put in the DLC, some little features, I could definitely see those making it into State of Decay 2 for that more polished, more complete experience. But stuff really didn't get difficult unless you're playing Breakdown or Lifeline, and you just went on and on and on and on. Like you have to go super far until certain things start being difficult. But I mean, ultimately, this game, I mean, you got cars to consider, you got food, medicine, people's traits and features, their skills, their abilities, making your own base, going out and finding materials, doing these little raids, taking care of zombie nests, special zombies. It's like, Yeah, it's like the whole package. Once again, it's like the Walking Dead simulator, but with a little less drama. I was going to say less drama, but it's still thrown in there, these little events, right? So, State of Decay 2 takes all that. They said their team is 4 times larger. Now, when people asked them how large their map was, they said it was a little cagey. It was kind of like, well, looking at our team, you can kind of get an idea. So, okay, the implication being that it's 4 times larger than the map of State of Decay. Thing is, the map in State of Decay, it's a big map. It's a pretty cool map. Thing is, what is like the density of that map when you consider it? When you really look at the map in State of Decay, you basically have a town in the north, a town in the south, these kind of fairgrounds, which are somewhere in between, and then just like nothing in the rest of the map. And that's the thing. If you had a map that was 4 times the size, and 4 times the density, it's still got a lot of empty space. So we'll see what they do there. And with the co-op, I mean, that can make some stuff completely trivial, right? So you get in a car, you drive down the road honking, you draw the zombies away, which, to be fair, in the game there already is distraction tools. You can throw a flare or whatever, and it'll lure zombies away. So it's not like this is a unique aspect to co-op. It's not like something you could only pull off with other players, but it could make it completely trivial to lure zombies away, unless, for instance, we have like cars require fuel. Cars require more maintenance. Cars are harder to find, or when you do find them, they're in a shoddier state. So there's a lot of, because as soon as you start throwing multiple people into the game that are coordinating, difficulty is like, well, it usually drops, but balance becomes more difficult because it's like the stuff that a couple players can accomplish as opposed to one person is hugely different. But unfortunately, there's no gameplay of the game so far. It's possibly because they went from that idea of making an MMO to just going to co-op and just sticking with co-op. So I'm assuming they probably had to redesign a couple of things around that. So unfortunately, no gameplay. They put out a bunch of concept art. That said, actually, I think there may have been like a little bit of gameplay, but it hardly looked any different from State of Decay 1. Is that a bad thing? No. But if we are, I think they've already set the expectation, which is State of Decay, but more, but better, with your buddies. Honestly, what more could you really ask for? So this is Magpie, signing off. Alright guys, thanks for watching Totally Legit Science. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and cats, apparently.